My name's Ryan, and this is Levi, and thanks for joining me again. So a couple weeks ago, we did a video on the filming locations for a movie that had one of these Locke triplex mowers in it. And if you've seen the video, you can see that I actually bought one. Had been sitting for quite some time. So this mower is about a 1960, 1961. The engine is stamped 1960. It is a 75-inch Locke triplex. It was built by the Locke Steel Chain Company. So I went to go get some video in its closer detail of one of these mowers, and I ended up buying it. I was told it's set for about 30 years in the spot in the picture behind me here. And so we did bring it home, and in the video I start taking it apart. I already started tearing it apart to see how much we're going to need to fix it, and it turns out it's going to be pretty much a full rebuild. Everything is seized up. The engine's seized. It's been sitting for about a week now with automatic transmission fluid and PB blaster in the cylinders, and it's not moving. I got one more thing to try, and we'll see if we can get to unlock that way. If not, I'm probably just gonna have to put another motor in it for the time being, because it will take a good bit of machining to get this motor back up and going. But so in today's video, I'm gonna try to get this shop cleaned out and make room, get ready for winter. And we got the tractor show coming up here in about three weeks, and so I'll have to start getting the tractors ready and get everything ready to go for that. All right, so there's been about a 3-4 month period of time here that I have not been making any videos. So a lot of things changed within that amount of time. I just didn't have time to do any videos, but the projects did not stop. It's just I was pressed on time to get them done, and there's some other things going on. So first thing is I found this carport at an auction, and I bought it and put it together. This was one of the projects. I had 1 day to tear it down, and actually it came apart in about 2 hours. I had it loaded up, and I was going down the road with it. Setting it back up took me a couple of days. I tried to get everything lined up just the exact way it came apart. So as you can see, there's stuff in here from the garage, and I'd say about 3 months ago I left the Chevy dealership. I was there for almost 10 years, and I moved on to another job with probably give me bigger opportunities, get more into stuff I was wanting to do, like the race cars and stuff like that. The main reason I bought this carport was actually for a tractor shed, and as you can see, all the tractors are just right back outside. The other thing I was working on off camera was a generator. I also bought this from the same auction. I bought the carport, and it had a locked up injector pump, which would have made a good video. I spent probably about 3 or 4 days working on that, and didn't have to buy any new parts. I was able to reuse everything out of the injector pump, just take it apart and clean it, put it back together. So I'm gonna start moving all this stuff out and get ready for winter, because I want to start tearing this mower here completely apart, and we'll get some videos on that through winter, and we'll see how far we can get with that project. Parts are very hard to find for it, so we'll see how much I can find. If I can get it running and to where it'll move under its own power, that's good for me. That's as far as I really wanted to go. But if I can get it to mow again, I think the potential's there, but we'll just have to see. There is one place I did find that says they do have a lot of these parts for these mowers. So I'd have to get a hold of them once I find out everything that I need, and go from there. This carport is an 18 by 20, and I looked at buying enclosure kits, and the only one I could come up with was a 20 by 20, and after shipping and taxes is still right around $800. And it was just a canvas tarp that went over both sides and over each end. So I was looking at using 10 mil clear plastic to let more light in, but I decided to go with these heavy duty tarps, and I believe they're 12 mil tarps, and it'll cost me a little bit more, but I think in the long run this would be a better solution, and I think it would last a lot longer. So I got rained out last weekend, and but we got that back wall put in there somewhat. I need to get some more clamps for the tarp there in the back. I got the two sides one, and so now I still need to work on some getting more room for the mower so I can start tearing it apart. I got two of the reels unlocked now. That back side and this front one here is unlocked. This side one here is still locked up. I might have to take it apart and try to find new bearings for it. So I got the engine chain off, and I got the reel drive chain somewhat off. I got some of the stuff apart, like the shield and stuff, some of those stuff out of the way. And I went ahead and pulled the head on this. The spark plug came out really hard, and it did strip the threads. And this is transmission fluid that's in here. It's been in there for about 3 weeks now, 2 weeks, something like that, and I cannot get it to break loose. Here's the original gas tank. The yoke and the bowl, all that's missing, and it's got a hole here in the corner. So I found a gas tank I had on this old motor here. This one's locked up as well. So hopefully that tank is the same, and it has the bowl and the yoke and everything that I'll need. Instead of putting the steel line back on it, I might just go ahead and convert it over to a rubber line. That way I can run another external filter, because the bowl will have a filter inside of it. I did get another shroud, and I got another motor, and there's a third one here somewhere for parts. Here's some of the stuff I've taken off so far. This shield's all rusted up, and so I got another one here on this engine. Here's the chain for the engine. I'm going to try to put this in some vinegar and let it sit, see if we can get some rust off of it. Some of the links have loosened up. Here's the head that came off. It's in pretty bad shape. There's part of the spring. So this head's stripped out. And I can heel coil it, but I have another head, so that'd be the cheaper option at this point. Here's some other shields that are okay condition. I'll probably clean them up and reuse them, although I do have extras on this engine right here. Some of the throttle linkages, I should be able to save all of them. And I do have extras of this and the coils. Here's another coil for this on this engine, plus the one that's on the old engine. I should be able to make one of these work between the two of them. So far, I should have enough to build a complete engine. I might have to track down some parts from eBay or something. To try to keep costs down, I've been saving these food containers, so that way I can put the parts in vinegar and stuff in them. I would take stuff apart, keep all the parts. And these here, like whenever you get your, whenever you order something online, it comes with those little airbags. I just took a knife and I can top of them off. And they make pretty good little bags to keep all your nuts and bolts in, keep everything organized. So I was able to get a whole bunch of them. Just try to keep everything organized and where everything came from, what it's to. So a closer look at this motor. As you can see, the shroud's rusted away, and the nut for the flywheel and the starter pulley, that's completely rusted away. So I did have it full of ATF for about 3 weeks now. The level is moving a little bit. I just tried it again and it doesn't seem to want to budge. So I'd say the bottom end's locked up in it too. So it'd probably be better just to use one of the other motors at this point and rebuild one of them. Just take the gear reduction box off the back and it should go right over to another one of the motors. So I did get the transmission to free up and move the rollers, but the shifter is still locked up. It doesn't want to move. So I'd say water's down in that gearbox, and I believe there's clutch plates down in there as well. So the last piece holding this front reel on is this arm right here, and there used to be a bolt right there. As you can see, the head of it's completely gone. I may have to cut that and have another one made. So here's some of the stuff I've taken off of it so far. We got the 2 wings off. We got some of the motor parts over there. And surprisingly, some of the bearings did loosen up once I got the chains off. And a bunch of the bearings are kind of tucked away inside of like a waterproof housing. And so as soon as I got the moving stuff, they did turn. And this piece right here, I thought it would be locked up for sure, but it turns pretty easy. Over here, this is the shaft that goes on for the rear wings. That bearing there is turning. A little stiff, but it does turn. And over there is turning. And one problem I found we're going to run into is rust. Pretty much ate this gear up pretty bad. I don't know if I can take that to machine shop and have them weld new teeth on and cut it, or if it'd be easier just try to find a new one. So here's this broken hinge for the left side. So I'm gonna have to try to find this. So it actually sits right in here just like that, and it's all rusty. And this here is broke too, and so this whole piece is probably got to be replaced. I think it's broken in too many places to try to weld it back together and make it work. Alright, I think that's as far as I'm going to go on this video as far as taking it apart. I did get good ways with it. And it is hard to see in the generator in the background. I did order shop lights, so I can finish that. I got more stuff coming for the enclosure. So what comes getting the winter, I'm going to put a tarp across the front, and the generator I would hope to keep outside and try to find some kind of a cover for it. That'd cut down on a lot of the noise, and just would like to get it really bright in the shop so the camera can focus better. So hopefully the next video will be different, and we'll get the lights and everything put up. And it is just a temporary shed. It's nothing permanent, just something to keep everything out of the weather so I can start doing more projects. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll continue tearing it apart next time. And until then, thanks for watching.